Welcome to Startup Confidential, what industry insiders will never tell you that you need to know if you're building a consumer brand. With your host, best-selling author of Ramping Your Brand, Dr. James Richardson. Let's do this.
Welcome to episode 151, a in-depth interview with Yoni Reisman, co-founder of Tip Top Proper Cocktails. This is the first of a brief series of founder interviews I'm going to call Rising Stars. I don't know if there are going to be a lot of them, but I'm going to try. These are folks I've followed closely on LinkedIn, and they're applying the principles from my book or my content and told me. And they have healthy businesses that all made it to the 8 figures. That's a big if. So believe it or not, it's not as easy to find those folks. There are a lot of people who go on podcasts and give interviews, but Yoni's been vetted because he has a real business. And I'm a consumer of Tip Top, just to declare my massive bias. But my buy rate's about 200 a year, so I'm kind of low. I'm small fry. All right. Introducing Yoni Reisman. He's a co-founder, chairman, and former chief executive officer of Tip Top Proper Cocktails. They're based in Atlanta. It was established in 2018 by Yoni and his childhood friend, didn't know that, and fellow music industry veteran, Neal Cohen. Neal's the formula master, I am told. Tip Top offers high-quality, classic cocktails in a can. Thank you, Yoni.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it very much.
So congratulations again. I think I had a call with you like four and a half years ago, and it's just amazing to see the progress in the organization. And I've been sitting here in Tucson waiting for you to appear in my local Total Wine, and this year you finally did. So I can actually go to a store.
Love that.
So tell us, what were you and Neal trying to accomplish when you started this business?
Yeah, really what we were trying to accomplish, and I guess it's maybe notable to say we had the idea in 2017. So we established the business in 2017. We were on shelves by 2019, the end of 2019. But when we launched, I guess our goal was to create an actually good cocktail in a can. Like the idea of drinking a prepared cocktail seemed like a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And we did a ton of market research, and we couldn't really find anything that we thought was, sort of up to our standards. And yeah, that was really the goal. Can we create a really good product and a really nice looking brand that people would really enjoy? That was the goal upon launch.
I'm curious, what kind of research did you do?
Quite honestly, probably not enough.
Yeah.
When I say research, I simply mean looking at the much smaller RTD shelves back then.
Right.
And just seeing, so I guess, in-person market research of looking at, in Georgia, liquor store shelves.
Right.
And seeing what's out there and realizing there's not really anything for people like us.
Right.
I think if I did more research, I likely wouldn't have started.
That's a good point. I've always been hesitant to push excessive research. Now I am a market researcher by training. That is highly ironic, but I've also seen it destroy innovation. And
There's pros and cons there, no doubt.
yeah, you'd be surprised though, Yoni, how many people don't actually do even the shelf research.
Yeah. I mean, originally, if I'm honest, we were going to launch with highball cocktails. So like a mule. And after some of that research and after kind of thinking more of like, do we really want to be competing with, at the time, High Noon didn't exist, but even like White Claw, do we want to compete with White Claw? And the answer was no, I don't want to compete with White Claw. So that's where we landed on the high proof, proper cocktails.
Yeah, it's so important to have that healthy fear of the market incumbent, because I think in your case, it caused you to think harder about like strategically, how do we want to enter and not die?
Yeah.
And this is a personal question that I've been curious about is how did you find anybody to make these adorable little cans?
Yeah. When you say that, do you mean the actual co-packing or the actual physical cans?
Both.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I'm genuinely fascinated.
Yeah. So again, once we landed on the concept, we knew 100 milliliter was the right size based on the laws, right? For compliance reason, it could be 100 or 200 or
Right.
50 milliliters.
Right.
100 milliliter was the right size. We always wanted to be in cans. We liked, we sort of grew up in the craft beer movement and noticed all of those guys moving into cans. Either they're infinitely recyclable, it's just a more efficient package. And we saw one product out in the market in this can that was just incredibly unique and did enough research to where, you have to put on the side of the can where it's co-packed. I reached out to their co-packer. I
Okay.
went out there, I visited, and that's how we discovered the can, figured out, how to get the supply of the cans. But finding a co-packer was actually more difficult for whatever reason. I don't recall. We either didn't, they wouldn't take us on as a client, that co-packer, or we chose not to. Honestly, I don't remember. So we had to buy some equipment, buy some canning equipment,
Wow.
and we had to convince some co-packer that doesn't exist anymore in Charleston, South Carolina, to take this equipment, let us install it at their facility, and run it for us.
So they were an alcohol license facility. You were begging them to just put in a custom line, essentially.
That's exactly right.
Wow, that's ballsy for a first time.
Yeah, I think again that speaks to not really knowing what can go wrong. And they were not the best co-packer, and again they don't exist today. It didn't last long, but it's a good learning experience.
Well, the upside, I guess, is that you learned an enormous amount technically about every aspect of cost and supply chain, right?
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
critical. So then you actually had to find a new co-packer then.
Yeah, we ended up going to that original co-packer that we're with today.
Got it. Excellent. Can you describe the journey from, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I have the history wrong, but from that initial major account with Delta to getting the top line more balanced across chain retail?
Yeah, it was definitely a journey. So again, we launched in September of 2019, just in Georgia. Again, we wanted to prove the concept. To us, that meant, can we make a good product, good liquid product? Can we get it into a can? Can we sell that product? And then will those people buy it again? That was sort of the very simple checklist.
All right.
Once we ticked off those boxes, we went to a few more markets. But what you're referencing is in April 2021, Delta reached out and asked us to come on board. This was like, COVID times. They stopped all service, and they were thinking about, this was sort of an opportunity for when they brought service back to do something new with in the spirit category. They'd done better in beer. They brought on a sommelier for their wine, but they hadn't really done anything interesting in spirits. So
Right.
this was an opportunity for them to do that. And yeah, it was a wild, wild opportunity. Lots of people told us not to do it. It created so many challenges and so many problems, but ultimately, I think well worth it because of, the reach that Delta has. We sort of viewed it as a sampling opportunity that they paid us for, essentially.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it was an incredible opportunity, created a lot of challenges, but yeah, we had to open up a bunch of markets in order to be in their load-in states,
Oh, right.
which, not ideal.
Right.
Kentucky wasn't like the top of our list of markets we needed to get into, but we had to, and so we
Yep.
did.
Does that mean you have a liquor license, a warehouse?
No, we don't have, we just have the one liquor license that we have, but we had to
Okay.
just get a distributor.
Oh, got it.
And
Yeah.
yep, in all their load-in markets. And we had to kind of rush to do that. And so there were definitely mistakes made there. But yeah, it was a long journey. And a lot of our focus was just on servicing that client that we were with for about 2 years. It was a great run. But yes, now We've brought some more experienced people into the business. We've, we were trying to raise money back then. There's maybe a lot of reasons why we couldn't, but customer concentration was a phrase I heard quite a bit.
Including from me.
Yep, I'm sure. 100% correct, as that was true. It was quite a journey. And yeah, we focused on a lot of independent accounts, of course, outside of Delta. And as we
Right.
hammered out some of the kinks, we got into more chains like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Total Wine. It was a journey, but we're in a good spot now.
So you're actually branded in Trader Joe's?
Nope. Our Trader Joe's reign also ended. It was a great run. We'd love to be back. We knew the risk of Trader Joe's, right? Like they do a private label and fully get that. So our products were selling quite well, and they have their own line now, which we knew would happen. It happened a little faster than we anticipated.
Wow.
But yeah, again, like love Trader Joe's and we'd love to be back.
Did you hear that?
That's right.
Thanks for listening. Remember, Dr. Richardson has loads of resources for founders at premiumgrowthsolutions.com.